Can you actually go full-time as a UEFN dev? Yes, you can, but it's not as easy as these grifters make it out to be. I've had months where I've made thousands with minimal effort. On a counter flip, I've also had months where I've earned 10 times under the national minimum wage for 12-hour days for the whole month. I think to answer this question more thoroughly, we need to understand what our minimum living requirements even are. For someone like me in the UK, it would be like 2K for like a minimum. And a lot of the time, I haven't made this. My actual average income from Fortnite is this. And Discovery changes all of the time. When I actually started, it was like 1 or 2 years ago. It was much easier to get into Discovery, but it actually took me over 3 months to get my first $100 payout. A big factor in UEFN that will allow you to be full-time or not is the variability in payouts. Obviously, I said earlier in the video, I've had payouts in the thousands and I've had payouts in hundreds. So fortunately, I've got the minimum requirement every month for like years now, but it's not a guarantee. That isn't meant to be discouraging, but there's a lot of skills that you're going to need to learn. This is my first game engine, so I had a lot to learn. I didn't know any of the devices really or anything like that. And I did start in 1.0. I think something that a lot of people don't know is that you don't actually need to know how to code to create in UEFN. Being able to code is good, but even if you can't, there's Epic AI, there's loads of AIs that can help you to make what you want, but you do need to know the devices, what they do, and how to tell the AI to work how you want it to work. I made some somewhat successful maps like HI Hitman and my hobby, Fortnite hobby. Here's a picture of my creator profile. I recently started making Patreon templates such as this daily pinko pad. I'm going to have a power abilities out now, so you can go check that out on my Patreon if that's something that interests you. I also make YouTube videos, but I have not got to the threshold where I make money on YouTube videos yet. But across templates, maps, and YouTube videos, for the effort invested, it does feel like currently templates on Patreon are what's bringing me the most income. I do want to start making way more lives, so trying to get the threshold and earn more money on YouTube and everything. So yesterday, I'm going to walk you through my daily life kind of. I streamed for 6 hours. I made one Patreon update and quite a lot of updates to my HI Hitman roguelite. And now, if I compare this to an actual job in the UK, I've worked warehousing jobs, etc. Near enough always the warehouse job has paid more than the UEFN dev. I've only had a handful of weeks where the money I've earned on UEFN would be a normal job. Now, a lot of things that people don't really tell you about is that everyone wants to promote you, especially these grifters, that you're going to just get rich overnight. It's going to be easy, this, that, and the other. It's actually really hard. And a lot of the times you're going to be putting in so much work with no payoff. I think that I probably would be in a lot better of a place right now if I spent way more time on creating more content around my maps. So I do need to get in more content. There's been a couple of times I've wanted to quit UEFN. Sometimes you put in it goes on to the previous point. You put in hours and weeks and months and you get no reward, but you still need to keep on pushing and updating and getting better just to kind of have a chance at that ever to pay off. And, you know, Epic's always changed in Discovery. Things that they do is often instant. We don't get any announcement or pre-warnings about things, so things can break. When they do an update, they'll change something that's really important and they won't tell you, and you just have to spend a lot of time fixing stuff. And burnout. I've recently actually had a burnout. I'm finally back in the flow of things, but it's kind of like depressing because you know that you should be working, but you just can't make yourself. I actually recommend that most people don't try and go UEF full time, even if it's being your current job's income, because the stability from the normal job will be way more important and allow you to have more creative freedom. And it will make you not be like a victim of the discovery and all of its changes. Another red flag, or another thing that I'd say you shouldn't try and go UEFN full time, is if you don't like solving problems, or if you're going to complain all the time. I do complain about UEFN a lot, but it does give you a lot of good things like multiplayer support, free server hosting. There's lots of good things here, but if you're going to complain all the time, you probably won't make it to a point where you do get really good at UEFN and you can start making some decent money. As well, another thing, if you hate AI, I'd say you're going to be cooked, to be honest, because there's so many ways that it speeds up your workflow, lowers your costs. If I probably started over again in UEFN with no experience, nothing, I think the best advice would be to specialize in something. When people are hiring for like maps in general, you either want to be like a coder, a modeler, a UI guy, UX guy, whatever. And these people are going to be able to get jobs in the space because they've proven that they have good quality. But like me, for example, I'm more of a generalist, so I do everything. But if you're trying to get hired in the space, it'd be best to try and specialize in one specific thing. Yeah, so I hope that was helpful for somebody, and hopefully that answers the question. Regard to the video, the channel, creator code Gizmo, Patreon assets in the description to level up your Fortnite map, and go watch another video.